is the McLaren SLR with a few tricks up its sleeve.
In this video, we're going to be finding out how fast Stig can drive this supercar icon around the Top Gear test track, explaining all the changes the McLaren Special Operations Division have made to bring the SLR bang up to date, and generally making as much noise as possible.
The Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren by MSO with HDK pack, to give it its full name. This is what happens when McLaren's Special Operations Division gets its hands on a 22-year-old supercar and attempts to right some of the original wrongs. It still has the original, slightly ponderous 5-speed automatic gearbox, unfortunately, but arguably that is part of the car's Super GT character. It also has the thunderous 5.4 litre supercharged V8, potentially with a few extra horsepowers here because it's got a freer breathing exhaust and an upgraded intercooler. It's also got 60mm of extra track width and extra bodywork here. It's got much firmer KW dampers and it's finished in this glorious shade of blue, complete with hand painted numbers, and yes, that is gold leaf. In terms of cost, the HDK pack will cost £360,000 if you're in the UK, and of course you need a donor car to go with that, currently trading at around 300 grand.
The original SLR was a strange thing. It was the tricky follow-up to the McLaren F1, of course. Gordon Murray was involved, but it still turned out to be a 1,600 kilogram lump with electronic assistance galore. He insisted on a flat underfloor, hence the side exit pipes, and a 50-50 weight distribution, hence the elongated shape. And he bought one for himself, so we must have been pleased with the results. We lapped the original SLR way back in 2004 when it set a 1 minute 20.9, so that's the time it should beat.
The HDK part then, it stands for High Downforce Kit. I figured that out myself, and the main elements are the carbon fibre rear wing, of course, this larger protruding carbon fibre diffuser down here. You've also got turning vanes underneath the car that help channel the air out the back here, and the result is an additional 130 kilograms of downforce at about 150 miles an hour. But check this out, rather than all that downforce being transmitted directly into the boot lid, if I open this up, you'll see you've got these stanchions underneath which transmits the force directly down into the chassis. Very cool indeed, but it does mean if you are going to be taking this car on holiday with you, you might have to leave the big suitcase at home.
Coming up, Stig sends it in the nipped and tucked SLR. But first, let's assess its chances.
Okay, potential problems. I don't think we're going to be scaring any lap times here today, but we may be in danger of breaching Dunsfold's noise limits. Now, if you look over there, you'll see a white box that says McLaren on it. It's a little hut where we base ourselves out of when we're shooting here, and behind it, on a stick, you'll see a noise meter, and it's listening. And this car is famously noisy. Now, on the original, you had twin tip side exit exhaust down here. On this, you've just got a single exit. Look how big that is back there, this slashed back design. Now, if you get that HDK pack, you get bypass valves as standard, so you can have loud and not quite so loud modes, or you can order a straight pipe version, although that's not legal on the road. In fact, can someone just stick a sock on it?
Right, enough chit chat, time to get the Stig strapped in and find out what 22 years of progress looks like. Puff of tyre smoke and plenty of wheel spin off the line. Lovely stuff. Not quick, but fun to watch. Right, listen to that V8 just gargling away. Is there anything in this world cooler than side pipes? I think not. First proper corner, and already the SLR is a little out of shape. You can see it bobbing about and diving under braking there into Chicago, even with the stiffer MSO suspension. A good exit though, that looked quick, and now it's time to unleash all that supercharged V8 power down towards Hammerhead. Oh my word, very squirrely there under heavy braking. And how does it change direction? Not bad at all, no oversteer or understeer, and it rides the bump nicely. Now this is where the extra downforce should give Stig a mile per hour or two more at follow through. And now just keep it pinned, Stiggy. This is a good lap so far. Frankly, who cares what this lap time is? That is one gorgeous looking and gorgeous sounding car. Coming up to second to last corner now, and that is... oh, that's a medium-sized skid there from Stig. Well caught. Final corner now, more tyre squeal, and that wasn't too bad at all. Right, let's see that again, this time from Stig's point of view and against the clock. A 1 minute 20.4 then. Not at the pointy end of the leaderboard, but interesting nonetheless. Half a second quicker than the original unmodified SLR, so some progress there. That also puts it on a par with the Koenigsegg CCX, but that time was set before it gained the Top Gear wing. It's only 6/10 off the Carrera GT's time though, which puts things into perspective. It pulled 1.34 G under braking into Hammerhead, 1.06 lateral G in follow through, and hit a peak speed of 132 miles an hour. Miles off modern supercar numbers, but still, what a thing. Okay, so at this point of the film, we'd normally let Stig loose to melt some spare tyres, but the vintage traction control system can't actually be fully switched off. So instead, here's it making some rather nice noises. Volume up.